Welcome to the MyMoto channel, and today we're going to be having a look at the AGV Tour Modular and how you fit the AGV INSYDE Integrated Intercom system into this helmet. So stay tuned and see how we get this done. First of all, this is AGV's Tour Modular. So this is AGV's 2206 modular helmet. Really popular because they've basically combined a lot of the technologies they developed on their earlier modulars to make this an extremely lightweight and versatile crash helmet. What we're going to need to do to fit this INSYDE intercom, we're going to have to take out some of these linings. We have to remove the blanking plate on this side, and we have to remove the sponge in the back of here and this covering plate to put the intercom in. So first of all, what we'll do is go into the intercom itself and get all the components out and have a look at what's included. So if we open this box up, you can see here you've got your controls. The intercom is built into this part, so this is the receiver and it's got the battery in it, and then you've got your connecting wires for your microphone and your speakers. So that is one component. When you then go into the bottom of the box, so you go into here, you've got a charging cable. You've got your Velcro pads for sticking on the inside for your speakers to attach to, and you've also got some Velcro spacers. You've got your two speakers and the microphone, the boom microphone. Because this is a modular, it needs to have a boom mic that will come around in front, so even when the chin's up, you can still talk and communicate. Okay, so that's everything that's included in the kit. So if you watch AGV's tutorial video on how to fit the INSYDE intercom, it'll show you a little tool that you use to remove this side cover, and it shows it in the pack with the inside, but it isn't in the pack with the inside. It is actually in your helmet pack. So when you get your helmet in with your chin curtain and your instructions for the helmet itself, you will see, there we go, a little tool, and that is for you to get this out without damaging the plastic around it. So what we're going to do first of all then is going to remove the back panels. So this is just two clips where you push them down and you lift, and that comes out. Now that goes back on after this intercom's been fitted, so make sure you keep hold of it. But what you will do is this little USB blanking plate, you just pop that out. You won't need that, and that can go back in the box with the spare bits from your intercom. Then what we're going to do, this side cover's clipped here, so what we've got to do is pull that clip back and try and lift it slightly. Once you start lifting it, it will then, so now we've got this end free, and this actually slides upwards, so you release that clip and you've got to get it to come up, but it isn't easy, which is why they've included this tool. So this you just put into the front edge, give it a little tweak, and that will then come off like that. There you go, there's your plate that comes away. That you can put into your intercom box and it'll fit where that side piece is going to replace it. Now we need to remove some of the linings. So when it comes to removing the cheek pads on the Tour Modular, AGV have used a slightly different system than what you'll see on a lot of other helmets. They've used a slider along the bottom. So what you need to do, first of all, we've got some press studs around the top, so you've got to pull down on those. Like that, and there's one at the back there, so you've got, in total you've got 4 press studs, 2 here, 1 up at the top at this point of the cheek pad, and 1 at the back. So once you've undone those press studs, you need to pass the chin strap through the cheek pad, because that will stop you sliding it out. So once you've got those chin straps through, pull your cheek pad back and you'll see there is a band of yellow plastic with a loop on the end, and that loop goes round a press stud. Just simply pull on that circle, it's at the end of the plastic, and slide, and this cheek pad then slides out like that. Now it's not easy, and don't worry if you're putting a little bit of force on it, it should slide out. The only thing is this leading edge here can catch a little bit on the trim there, so just when you pull it, sometimes you've got to flex it round so it slides around like that. Okay, do that on both sides. So again, we pull the cheek pad back, get that ring of plastic and pull, and you'll see that I'm pulling it this way. So I'm not pulling it straight, I'm going to try and get that curve going just so it doesn't catch and stop it coming through. The other thing I'm also doing is pinching the cheek pad itself and helping it along. And that's stitched all the way through, so it's nice and secure, nice and solid. So once we get into the helmet itself, we don't need to really take out the skull cap liner. Everything feeds around the back and the sides. You've got your little piece of foam at the back there that we need to take out. And then what we can do is just get the main intercom body itself and drop that in. Now that doesn't clip or anything, it just slides in. What's going to hold that in is this plate, which we're going to put on later. Then we're going to get the switches, which are going to go on the side. And we're going to just line them up. It needs to be nice and flat, and you'll see there's two pieces on this. So you'll see there's a piece there and a piece there that drop into the trim. And then the rest of it is little sliders that click. So basically you just push down until you hear a nice positive click, and that should be nice and tight all the way around, then you know it's located. If you can see a gap going down, or this seems to be wider at a certain point, then it's not in position. One of the things actually that can kind of cause a slight problem is if this cable is across where that catches. So sometimes you just need to move that across, but in this situation it was in the right place. Okay, so we've got those in. Next thing to do is to get our Velcro pads for the speakers and the microphone. Now you'll see why we need to do these at the same time as the microphone, because your microphone has got this kind of clip arrangement here. There's two pegs on one side and two indents on the other. Two pegs are going to drop in, rotate and click. So we're going to put that in first. So just push the two pegs into the hole that's already there and rotate it, and again you'll hear a click or feel a click, and you'll see that's now in position. And then behind that you're going to see this cable tidy. So you've got a slot for the cable for the microphone to run through, and you just need to push it into that slot, and that'll go all the way to the back of the helmet there. And whilst that's in position, we're going to just get our Velcro and stick that over the top, like so, and that holds it into position. Okay, we can then put the Velcro on the other side because there's nothing actually running behind that one. So we're going to put that on this side. Okay, and now we're on to putting the speakers in place. So when it comes to the speakers, the inside comes with Cardo's 40mm speakers. Now these can be upgraded. You can get a 40mm JBL speaker, which will fit in. The 40mm speakers are good, the JBLs are really good, and the 45s are just a little bit better. If you want to see anything on that, then go to our previous video, which is called Size Matters, all about the difference in the Cardo speakers and the quality you get from them, so you'll be able to see what these are like. When you look at the speakers, you've got your connector closer to one side than the other. So this is the side where all the plugs and sockets are, which is on the right hand side of the helmet. So on the left hand side of the helmet where the switches are, you're going to go for the long cable on that side. So here we are, we've got the switches, we've got the longer side away from the plug, and we're going to make sure when we do this that we are on this side of that chin strap. So you're going to go in, line up the cable coming out of the speaker so that it drops into the cable tidy, because you've got, yet again, you've got another cable tidy there. And then this cable then can drop through, and what we're going to do, you'll see there is a slot running along the top of this, a very thin slot. What we want to do is get this excess cable as much as possible on this side of the helmet, because this we can tuck into there quite easily. On this side, we've already got to tuck away 3 connectors. We've got a 3.5 and this intercom 2-prong connector. So I'll just get that in there. So you need to get, you'll see there's another 2-pin connector on the end of this here for that speaker as well. It's a little bit frustrating this, because that's not really required, I don't think anyway. If it was a 3.5 with 2 cables, that would be fine. But now we've got to actually get 3 connectors into the back of here, which is why I would recommend getting as much of this cable on that side as possible, because it will give you a bit less to kind of try and hide on this side. We're going to get our speaker for this side. We're going to put it into the recess and drop that cable in, the same as what we've done on the other side. Now what we need to do, the reason why we're on this side of the strap with these is because the channel is between the EPS and the shell, and the strap attaches to the outer shell, but on the inside of it. So if we go on the wrong side of this strap, we're going to struggle to get down, and the cables will have to loop over. If we go on this side, it's going to be a lot easier, and we're going to have more room. Now the thing I found easiest is to go for the biggest connection first, so get that 3.5mm audio jack, and I drop that as far down as I can whilst we've got the room to do it. So line that up, push that right the way in. Once that's in, it's simply a case of then getting your smaller connectors and pushing them in behind. So line these 2 up, drop them in, and you can actually push them quite far down. They've designed the helmet with room for these connectors to go into, but there's not an excess of room. There's not loads. So it just takes a bit of manipulation to get all them cables down there. Now what I'd do at this point, once we know we've got that in low enough that it's clear of this channel along the bottom, we're going to get that cheek pad in place, and it's going to hold everything where we left it. Once we've done that, we're going to come back to the other side. So let's get this cheek pad slotted in. Okay, so to slide the cheek pad in, we need to get this yellow plastic section in that black channel. And if you look down on the helmet, you can see the channel it's got to slide into. Now there's 2 gaps in this channel. There's one halfway along here, and there's another gap at the back, because the channel is part of this moulding. So where the moulding changes to this moulding, there's a continuation of the channel, but there's a gap, and it can drop out of the channel if you're not careful. So when you're going through these sections, just make sure that it stays in and push it through, and it should go in quite easily until you get towards the back of the helmet. Just make sure all our cables are out the way of it, because that will definitely stop us getting it through. Don't worry if it's a little bit of force is needed to pull that through, because especially when you get to the back here, it is a squeeze to get it all the way along. Right, and you want to pull until that hoop on the end of the yellow lines up with that press stud. Once you get to that point, you know you've gone back far enough. And what we should see now is all our cables should be all tucked in there, nice and tidy. And then you'll see here that they can actually lip under that corner of plastic as well. So they come out just there, right behind where this cover is going to start. We're going to pass the chin strap back through the hole in the cheek pad. So that's all the way through. And then start putting our press studs back on. And we're going to start with the press stud at the back of the helmet. So the one just below the speaker, at the back of the chin pad. Cheek pad, not chin pad. Okay, so All four. 1, 2, 3, and then fourth one there. Now this is the hardest one. Just make sure that yellow ring isn't pushing the cheek pad away at all, otherwise it just won't click properly. But that's all clicked in fine. Now what we need to do is a bit of cable tidying on this side. Now remember when I said earlier about the channel, what we're going to do is run that cable along that channel, and then it's going to come out this side and tuck under that plastic again. Now, it's a little bit tricky getting it to stay in position, but normally once you got it right like that, it'll stay, and then we can just drop that into there, click that down, and that's our cover back on, holding that cable in place. And you can see now there's no wires visible, not even here or here, it'll all be tucked in. So now we're going to do the same as what we did on the other side, and you'll see the same void that they've left here behind the EPSV connections isn't on this side. The EPS goes almost right up, but there is enough room to hide them cables away. And it just means if you get that excess onto that side, this is a bit easier to do. So that's why I've done that. Okay, once we've got all those cables pushed in there, we're going to now drop this cheek pad in. But what we've got to be aware of, so if you look at the cable that goes from the controls to the back panel, you want to actually have that out at this point. That's going to get tucked in later. It's only the other cable that's going to your speaker that needs to be in there. Slide the cheek pad along again. Make sure that cable's pushed back. Sometimes it can stick on that join as well there, so that's what I'm just pushing that through with. And that's what it's actually done there, is it just popped out the channel. So you just back it up again. Make sure you've got a clear vision of where it's going. Sometimes you have to just re-tidy them cables as well. So make sure that's in the channel. There we go. It's in the channel, push them cables back in. And this little tool is actually quite handy. You can actually use this for this specific job. So you can actually just get them cables tucked in with that. It's not sharp. It's not going to cut through the cable insulation. Just helps you push them in. Slide that along. Line up that yellow ring at the front again. And then chin strap through the hole in the cheek pad. Now the secret to fitting any intercom is all in how tidily you can do the cabling. That's the key to it. And some helmets are easier than others to do a good cabling with. What's great about these is it's all been pre-thought. So all the little routes for the cables to go into, the voids for the plugs to all push into, they're all there ready. So what we're going to do now is just push the excess cable from the control wire that goes to this. That's going to get now pushed into that trim. Now that cheek pad's in place. So we're going to drop that under there. What I'd recommend with this, to get it so it doesn't stick out of the front, start pushing it from the front. So you can see there, I've pushed it in there. Get the excess to the back of the helmet, like that, and then push that in last. Okay, so that's through. Chin strap through. You just need to do these two four press studs. So 1, 2, 3, and that should be lined up. 4. There you go, that's the inside now fitted. Nice and easy, all pre-thought and simple to fit. Really, really good helmet, brilliant integrated intercom, well worth a look. So, Joe, out of all the modular helmets, this one really is overlooked. It is one of the best modular helmets on the market, and with this system it's great for long touring rides, group rides. and anything like that. So I highly recommend having a look at these, have a look at the inside, check them out on our website or come in store to have a closer look. And hopefully, you know, this video has given you a bit of an insight into the helmet. If there's any questions, or if you're trying to do this and you're stuck, then please leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you. We always enjoy the interaction with our followers. So yeah, any issues, put them in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you've liked it, and hit the bell if you want to see more of our content in the future. Thanks for watching. Until next time, ride safe.